What's up, my pilots? Angryponcho here. Welcome back to Peggle. We have a special guest today. Say hello.
Hi.
It's Emma, otherwise known as Unhappy Cardigan.
Hello.
So before we continue in our adventure here, I'm going to turn on colorblind mode. Because Classic left a comment about it, and I didn't realize. Apparently, it's a thing. All it does is it changes these green pegs to have a triangle in them, and it makes the purple peg have a plus sign. So it doesn't actually change the colors of anything, it just adds symbols to the ones that might be kind of similar to others. So I'll just have that on from now on. So we have some horror movies to talk about today.
Yes, we do.
At Cardigan's urging, I watched. Well, first it was actually her tip to watch Midsommar, I believe,
Hmm.
or at least I told you I was thinking about it, and you were like, "Yeah, you got it. It's great." And I've already talked about that one. But I just watched. I just finished like 10 minutes ago watching Hereditary, the other film from Ari Aster, the writer director of Midsommar. And wow, that he definitely has certain things that he likes to put in his movies, doesn't he?
He does. Yes.
So from here on out, folks, spoilers for Hereditary. If you haven't seen it, you can rent it for $4 on Amazon Prime. I recommend you just go watch it and then come back because it's really good, and it's hard to. You don't want to be spoiled. Go enjoy it first and then come listen. All right, now everyone who doesn't like horror movies just didn't even bother pausing.
They're just like, all right.
Like, I'm never gonna watch that shit. Give me your terrible opinion, Poncho.
Well, they should, because it's my favorite horror movie of all time.
Really?
Yes.
Hereditary is.
Hmm. I've been thinking about it. Yesterday, I was just trying to think of what my favorite horror movie is, and I've seen a lot of horror movies. It's my favorite genre.
Yeah, when I
And
asked you what I should watch for us to talk about, you listed like 30 movies that you'd seen.
yeah, I love horror movies. And I rewatched Hereditary last night because I hadn't seen it in I think about a year, maybe a little bit.
In
Yes.
preparation for this discussion.
Yes.
It's very official.
And I was like, yep, it's my favorite. Ooh, nice free bull red.
Thank you.
And then I was talking about it at work today with people to see what they thought. And they also think it's good, but kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
So,
I
yeah.
mean, that describes Midsommar and Hereditary pretty well.
Yeah. Yep. What I like about Hereditary is that it doesn't rely on jump scares. So it's all psychological. And it had me on the edge of my seat the whole
Hmm.
time watching it.
Yeah,
Um,
the non-jump scare psychological horror movies are the only ones I like.
mhm.
That and the ones that are just trying to be jump scary but are just campy and it's so bad they're funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But yes. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
My bad, I interrupted you. You're saying Hereditary is your favorite movie because it's got you on the edge of your seat the whole time?
Yes.
What would be your second?
My second favorite? Actually, you know what? Probably The Thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I watched it for the first time the other day. I watched a video, you were talking about The Thing, and then Colton actually, my boyfriend, for those who don't know, brought up that he wanted to watch The Thing. And I said, you had just talked about The Thing and that we should watch The Thing. And I loved it. I sat through the whole movie, which is a really big deal because I have a hard time focusing on movies.
At least you don't fall asleep.
Yeah, I get like I have to like look at my phone because my brain will just start going crazy. But no, I was whole time on The Thing. So that one's probably my second favorite.
Well, why don't you tell me your theory about the ending of The Thing, and we'll come back to Hereditary.
Okay. So I think that none of them were the thing because the whole movie kind of just like plays around the idea of paranoia and you not knowing like who the thing is. So I like to think that at the end they're both just so paranoid that one of them is the thing, is they both just sit there staring at each other paranoid until they both die.
You think they just sat there until they both froze to death?
Yes.
Well,
I
I agree, but I think it's pretty clear that Keith David is the thing. I think that I mean it's in the film. It's definitely meant to be ambiguous, but the little details that they give you, it sure seems like they want you to pick up on him being the thing if you really like look at it.
Is he McCready or Childs? I don't know.
Childs. Dude, the other one's fucking Kurt Russell.
Oh, I don't know names.
All right.
Oh, because like
I always have to double check that it's Kurt Russell and not Burt Reynolds. Yeah, it's Kurt Russell. Same guy as from like Escape from New York.
haven't seen that.
Neither have I. But apparently that's what a lot of people know him from.
Oh. He like one bit that I was thinking about at the end of the thing. So whenever Childs like comes over, like McCready like is about to take a drink of his like vodka or whatever it is, and then he doesn't, and then he hands it to Childs, and then when Childs takes a sip, he like laughs. And I was reading on Reddit that some people think that like it was one of the muzzle toffs and he made him drink like
It was a Mazel Tov?
some people, that's like a theory that some people think that like he drank lighter fluid to see if it didn't kill him, he knew it was the thing.
Oh, yeah. If he drank right out of a Mazel Tov. That would definitely kill you if you were not an alien monster.
So because he like laughs when he drinks it.
I've heard that one too, but I think that's like the least compelling. From what I've seen, the fact that he shows up wearing different clothes is immediately suspicious because we know that your clothes get torn up when the thing takes you over.
Right. His earrings gone.
His earrings gone?
I think so. I think I was reading that on Reddit. He had an earring and it's gone.
Oh, I thought it was still there.
Unless I'm crazy with you.
As I think I'd heard that point as well, but I thought the point was that it was still there. Like he had, I mean, you could just take it and put it in, like, I don't know. But the fact he changed clothes, the fact that he ran out into the darkness to chase after, I forget his name, when like his whole job was to guard that door, and like running off by yourself after something that could potentially be the thing might be the worst idea you could have.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. He did disappear. But then so did McCready. He disappeared for a bit too.
That's true. They
Not
both.
like
He
that.
kind of got. Well, I mean, he disappeared because the movie cut away, not because the character ran off into the darkness.
Not because he ran off, but like when he found that like who's the other dude who found his like ripped up shirt, and then he was like, I ran away and I like left him, and then you hear him at the door and he's just like twist, twist, twist. That bit.
Yeah, they could both be the thing, but that's if they were both the thing. I mean, can the thing not identify other things? I feel like he could, right?
It could.
What's that?
I would assume so.
Yeah, I would think so too. Like they mimic it well enough to fool other organisms, but I don't know. It seemed like they were cooperating, so they could probably detect each other. At least I would think.
Right. Otherwise, what would stop one thing from trying to ding another thing?
Yeah. Also, one of the things I like about that movie is how poorly explained, like the exact mechanics of how the thing works is. because they talk about, I think, like 3 different ways that you can get infected.
Yeah.
It's like the thing can like literally take you over by like we see in the dog kennel scene, where it sprouts a bunch of tentacles and like absorbs, or tries to absorb the other dogs in order to like turn them into things as well.
Yeah. Like what he does with the guy, not Doc. The end of the movie where he just grabs his face.
Yeah, exactly. That method. But then apparently, even getting exposed to like a small amount of thing material will make you slowly become one. Because they keep talking like, oh, well, you got to, you know, eat out of cans and everybody prepare their own food. Because the thing could be like spreading itself that way.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing with Childs accepting the drink from McCready at the end.
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah, that's another theory. Like he would have been drinking.
It's
from
weird
so
that he's not suspicious.
Yeah.
So I think that's just more evidence that Childs is the thing at the end.
Yeah. Although apparently there's a prequel which I haven't seen yet.
It's not a prequel. It's a remake. I mean,
Oh.
it's technically in the canonics of the story, it's a prequel, but from a movie standpoint, it's the same fucking movie. Like the plot points are, it's like they took the script and did Control F on the names, kind of like the new Star Wars movies.
Oh. Yeah. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Absorbed into your,
That was Zen.
That was really Zen. I was watching very closely.
What's it like enjoying a live performance of one of my terrible Let's Plays? Oh, this is not going to end well.
I gave up on my challenge level because it's gonna get me too mad. I've been stuck on it for so long.
Yeah, you can only suffer through trying to get 400,000 points on levels that like funnel the pegs off the screen for so long,
Right.
or funnel the ball off the screen. I mean,
It just relies on luck at the end, where like you want to get it through the 100,000, so then you.
that's like a 1 in 5 at the end. But then, I mean, if you know when your last shot is happening, you can kind of try and aim it so that it'll bounce and end up down there, but it's not nearly as consistent as bouncing it off of a peg and trying to hit another peg.
Are you sure you're not aiming for the thing at the bottom?
Oh, the bucket?
Yeah.
I occasionally will wait.
Oh!
I thought we were going to get you baited. I thought for sure it was get you bait.
Yeah, me too. I was so ready for it to just be like, no.
Sometimes I look where the bucket is and wait for it, but most of the time, no, I don't even. Oh, yeah, this is the one with the fucking beehive portal.
So anyway, I'm gonna go back to Hereditary. So you messaged me tonight, and I assumed you got to the bit.
Yeah, I just sent. What the fuck?
Yeah, the first time I saw it, I had a very like, holy shit.
Yeah, I think I yelled out loud, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, I did too, because it was so like, oh.
Because you know, like bad things are gonna happen to these characters. It's a horror movie, but So again, if you haven't watched Hereditary, it's your last chance to not be spoiled. But the as soon as she like started going out the window of the car, I was like, oh, this isn't gonna end well. They're gonna crash and she's gonna get ejected or something like that.
Yeah, that was way worse.
Yeah, what actually happened was way worse.
Yeah, I was like anticipating that bit coming up, like when I watched it last night. I was like, I know it's coming. Yeah, that bit. Ooh.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really fucking jarring.
Yeah. Was very jarring.
Okay, now I'm waiting for the bucket because if I miss this, I don't want to airball it.
Oh, that's true. Oh. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, that movie, it's definitely more gory than Midsummer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
they're both pretty gory. That was another thing
Yeah.
I noticed in the he has a few things that he really likes to include in his movies, and I'm just going off of the Hereditary and Midsommar, but just from the two of those, he likes to have movies with cults. He likes people who are standing around totally naked.
Yep, I was gonna say naked people.
Um, oh, I had more. Oh, he likes that shot where the camera starts upside down and then flips.
He does like that.
He did that in once in each movie.
hmm
Oh, I think there were a couple other things I noticed while I was watching too. Oh, he likes that shot where it's just out a window, and you can
Oh
see
yeah.
the border of the window. Because at the beginning of Midsommar, there's a pan in where it's just snowing outside, and
Yeah.
then in the beginning of Hereditary, I think it opens on a shot out the window of the treehouse.
Yeah. hmm Did you going back to the naked people bit? Did you notice so in Hereditary in some of the scenes, there's like just naked people like hidden in some of the scenes.
I noticed towards the end of the movie they started showing up all over the place.
Yeah, you would see them just like standing in the dark, like up against something, like not like because like at the end of the movie in the treehouse, all those naked people are there. But with like they're in the scenes when they're like outside of the house and you're looking at it at night. There's like a bunch of just naked people standing.
Yeah, I missed that one, and I I did notice that they were switching back and forth with their establishing shots between actual shots and shots of models, like
I
of
like
the outside
that.
of the house. I think that was a really cool little theme throughout.
Me too.
Honestly, it's creepy, but it almost spoils the horror for me and Megan because I have this thing where, and I think I've done it in a couple Let's Plays too, where anytime I see a shot where it's really obvious that it's a miniature, I always quote the line from Monty Python where they're looking at Camelot, and
Oh no.
the guy's like, "Ah, it's only a model." I just think of that. I'll always say something like, "Oh, it's just a model."
I'll have to tell Colton about that. He'll think that's funny.
Yeah, so that happened a couple times in Hereditary. One time Megan just like, "Oh, it's just a model."
Oh, I better not ruin the movie for him. I'm
What?
stop thinking about that now.
Yeah, now it will forever ruin you. That and the stock sound effects that I can never unhear. One of the ones that actually pops up the most often is probably one that people watching will know. If you can close your eyes and close your ears for a moment and just, well, don't close your ears because you won't hear what I'm saying, but just try and visualize in your mind's ear the sound that shooting a fireball out of the staff makes in Star Fox Adventures. Can you hear it?
I think so. It's been a hot sec since I've heard it.
Are you trying to visualize it in your mind's tongue?
Yes. See, for me, it's corn. I'm just kidding. It's
For me, it's corn.
I can't. That's ruined for me now too. Whenever someone says "for me," I'm just like, it's the Guildmaster from Fable.
Oh yeah.
That's
Your health is low. Have you got any potions or food?
my text tone. It's the quest
Mhm.
bar.
Yeah, you have the jingle beforehand too.
Yeah. That's stuck in my head, and then the scream they use, the what scream?
The Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, the Wilhelm scream.
Oh yeah, that's probably the best known one. But yeah, other than that pew sound effect of Star Fox, the the other one that I hear the most often is like it's a door opening sound effect, but it's like a rusty it's like a rusty iron gate or like a hatch on a submarine. Like it sounds like it's a really old squeaky and definitely metal door. And it just shows up like in houses and shit in movies, and it's like there's no way that door make that sound.
I know what sound you're talking about.
I'll have a link in the description for the fireball sound and for the door sound that I'm talking about. So if you can't visualize it in your mind's tongue, you can go and listen to it there. I would edit it in, but I'm not editing this Let's Play. It's a live recording, baby. I'm not gonna put this whole fucking thing through Vegas just so I can put a sound effect in.
Yeah, I can try and do some of the sounds for me, you know.
Oh yeah, get it. Yeah, pull it up on your phone.
All right, or I can Okay, so the door is like that.
Oh.
Like that. That was good, right?
Yeah, just yeah. That's basically it.
And the scream. That one.
Oh no, the Wilhelm scream is the one that's like, how does it actually go?
Like
Yeah, it kind of fades away. It's like ah. That one actually doesn't get used anymore because so many people recognize it. But that fucking door sound effect, oh my god, it's in so many things.
Yep.
And sometimes it's used appropriately. Like it was in an episode of, I think it was an episode of Angel, where he got, or maybe it was an episode of Bones. I can't remember. It was definitely David Boreanaz. But he was on a submarine. I think it was Bones. He was on a submarine, or it was an old, like rusty old ship, and the hatch like closed behind him, and they just used that sound effect in full. Because normally people will clip it, so they just get part of it, so it's just like the, and you don't get the whole rest of it. But that, and I remember in that episode they used the entire thing. Oh my god, this level sucks!
I'm trying to think how I would play this level.
It's got too many chutes. There's too many paths that you have to go down to try and get all these.
Yeah, I guess I would just be doing what they're doing, like trying to get inside of the little S circle. Yeah.
They're the yin yang sound symbols.
Oh, yep, that's it.
Taoist symbology.
S circle guy.
It's like that cool S everyone could draw in middle school.
The cool S. I sometimes still draw that, just, you know.
Just to remember what it felt like to be young and happy.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm cool, guys. Look, I can do the S. Like, yeah.
Oh, that's what my next tattoo should be.
Get the S.
How many people do you think have that tattoo?
Probably a lot.
It's got to be more than 0.
Yes, definitely. Yes. I remember specifically in, I think it was we're in England, it was like class 3. I was working on a project, so I remember laying in the old, so my house had this giant, wooden floor area. It was basically just the center of the house, and other rooms that came off of this, center area. I was laying on the floor in there, drawing that S.
Just hundreds of times?
Yep, it's a memory of mine. I was just laying on that wooden floor, drawing the S.
It's just one of those childhood memories that you'll just never forget for no apparent
Yeah.
reason. It's just there permanently now.
Yep.
All right, I think we got there.
Yeah, let's go. Oh. I hate it when it goes into the 10,000.
It's like it's magnetized, I swear.
Yeah, it really is. Come on then, Larry. Off on my lap. So out of Hereditary and Midsommar, which one was your favorite?
Definitely Midsommar.
Midsommar?
Yeah. Its ending was better. It felt less like... You know through most of Midsommar that these people are a weird cult.
Yes.
And like as soon as you get to the ritual suicide scene, from then on, in my mind, no crazy shit that this cult does is outside the realm of plausible deniability, or what is it, suspension of disbelief. Whereas throughout most of my viewing of Hereditary, I was trying to figure out who had schizophrenia. Because I was convinced, like, okay, the easiest way to explain this would be, oh, there's like a demon possessing people. So that's like not exciting, not fun. So I'm looking for like the Sixth Sense ending where it's like, oh, did you notice that these things only happened when this character was alone, or this character blah blah blah. You notice it after watching, like how the Sixth Sense ends.
Yeah.
You have all those moments where it's like, oh, I never realized that throughout the whole movie Bruce Willis never like picks anything up. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Huh? I can't hear you, Emma.
I did not know that. Sorry, the cat.
No. Which one is it? Is it Larry?
Yeah, Larry's here.
It's Larry. Everyone say hi to Larry.
Larry, you want to say hello? Want to say hello? No, she's kind of shy. She's falling off my lap.
And then the stuff like the scene with where the psychologist Bruce Willis goes to Haley Joel Osment's house, and he doesn't actually talk to the mom because obviously he's dead, so the mom doesn't know he's there.
Yeah.
But the way that the scene is put together, it just seems like they're being awkward. What really, she's not talking to him because she doesn't see him.
Yeah.
And then even earlier in the movie, the line where he says, "I see dead people," like the most known line. But then he doesn't. He goes on to say they don't know they're dead. And it's like, oh, no, I really should have noticed that. That's what I was waiting for at the end of Hereditary. I was waiting for and like I'm not saying like the ending should be, oh, the mom wakes up in a padded room and the whole movie was just in her mind. That's stupid. That's the same cop out as it was all a dream. I was expecting like, oh, my theory towards the middle part of the movie was that both she and her son had schizophrenia, and that was why they were having literal visual and auditory hallucinations.
Yeah. Kind of.
Kinda?
Because was I the one? Okay, so did I tell you that that Hereditary was about someone with schizophrenia? Was that me that said that?
No, I don't think so. I just assumed because the title's Hereditary, and in an early scene in the film, they established that the mom's brother had schizophrenia, and it is hereditary.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out too. I'm thinking of another movie, another great horror movie about schizophrenia. The Taking of Deborah Logan. Did I get them confused? It's another one of my favorites. That one's scary.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I've,
I
oh.
didn't think that. I was like, oh, I'll be fine watching this. I don't get scared of horror movies. Watched it Home Alone at like 11 o'clock at night.
The best way to watch a horror
Yeah.
film.
Yep. I like to scare myself like that though. So. Yeah, Hereditary just it gets you thinking. I like it. I like movies that get you thinking, like The Thing.
Yeah. My one problem with the schizophrenia explanation was that it didn't quite explain everything. Like I forget what it was at that point. Obviously later on, like you start to pick up more details of like, oh, there's a mysterious, and I didn't even think it was a cult. I just thought it was just that one weird lady.
Joni?
Yeah, that she conveniently meets in the parking lot outside the.
Yeah.
That's like that felt like a scene from Fight Club.
Yeah. Okay, don't get mad, but I don't think I've ever seen Fight Club.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You gotta. I mean, it's not a horror movie, but it's definitely on the you should see this one list.
I do want to watch it. I'll have to get a list going. Movies. I can put them on a wheel and spin for them.
A wheel of the worst.
Just a wheel of movies. I have a hard time making decisions. So you can't already tell. So I have a wheel for my animes.
Oh, to decide which one to watch next.
Yeah, makes it easier.
What are you in the middle of right now?
Well, I'm watching. Well, My Hero Academia is being released right now, so I'm watching that. But a while ago, because I'm bad, I started Assassination Classroom, and I haven't finished it yet. Like I started it a while ago and just haven't got to finishing it.
I mean, if it doesn't hold your attention enough for you to come back to it automatically, then it probably wasn't very good.
I liked it. Like from what I saw, I just got really busy.
Yeah, I've had shows where I enjoyed it, but then I realized like a month later, oh, I never finished that. Because apparently I wasn't enjoying it that much.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it like that. Maybe I'll re-spin, see what I get. Start fresh. I got the wheel back, and I lost my old phone, where I had my list on it.
Oh, I see. It's a metaphorical wheel. It's a digital wheel.
It's a digital wheel.
I thought you had an actual wheel, like you written them all on a paper plate or something.
My friend has an actual wheel. You spin it. We used to have a movie night, and everyone put in a movie they wanted to watch, and we all got on Discord and spanned for a movie. It was very fun.
Yeah, that sounds like that's what I thought you were talking about.
Now I have my wheel that has on my phone. Like a wheel for I think restaurants, a wheel for things for me and Colton to do. If I could have a wheel for every decision in my life, that would.
If I could just randomize all of my choices, that would be ideal.
Yes.
Is this like your fourth time being reincarnated and you just decided to try a randomizer?
Yes.
Like vanilla settings got old?
Yeah. Every morning I wake up and spin the wheel to see if I go to work or if I go to bed or if I go out.
The wheel decides our fate.
The wheel decides.
La Claw!
I was thinking of the same thing.
The Claw is our master.
Did you watch Toy Story 4?
I have not seen it.
I thought it was crap.
Well, yeah.
Maybe
It's
don't
been
know.
too long.
No, they basically took. Okay, are you gonna watch it?
You can spoil Toy Story 4.
Okay. They take so you know how they made like Woody was always made out to be this. He's like, oh, I gotta be there for Andy. I gotta be there for the kid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in Toy Story 4, he's like, yeah, screw that.
Fuck them kids.
I want to go be free.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like,
That's
what happened to the story that you put in the whole first 3 movies? Like, what?
Yeah, that's a
And
little strange.
Me and Colton hate Forky.
That's the one that's just like a spork with a twisty tie around it, right?
Yeah. I don't know why we hate. We just kind of do. I don't know. I'm just not a fan.
Just not a fan.
Not a fan.
I mean, it's. Did they make an interesting like? Does he have an interesting personality? Because from the posters, my immediate response was, oh, that's terrible.
No, he basically is a spork that like just doesn't want to be alive.
What? Oh, okay.
Pretty much, it's kind of depressing. He's like, yeah, I don't care about my kid. I just want to lay here and not do anything. And it's like, okay.
What the fuck?
So it's
They had a suicidal toy.
pretty much. That's spooky. I've only watched it once. I haven't thought to go back to it.
Have you seen the video of the guy who edited the ending to prank his mom on Toy Story 3?
I don't think so, but I think I've heard someone talking about it once.
I may have mentioned it before, but yes, for the viewers, a guy was watching Toy Story 3 at home with his family on like a vacation or whatever, and he decided it would be hilarious to change the ending a little bit, just to prank his family, particularly his like old mom, and he edited it so that when you get to the scene where all of the toys are headed into the trash compactor, and they're all like holding hands because they know they're about to die, and it like they're all approaching the fire at the bottom, it just fades out, and like credits come up, like that's the end of the movie, and his mom is like, "No, that can't be it. That can't be how it ends." And she's just in like disbelief.
The first time actually, every time I watch it, I cry. So if I would have watched that for the first time and seen that, just sobbing.
Be like, "What the fuck, Pixar?
Yeah.
You destroyed my childhood, traumatized me." I'll have a link to that in the description as well. You can see that video, viewers.
Larry, what you doing on the desk?
Ugh.
Trying to make sure that there's nothing in Hereditary or thing that I need to bring up.
Nothing that what? I can't quite hear you.
Nothing in Hereditary or the thing I wanted to bring up again. Well, not again, but like anything to like make sure if I remember something. If there's anything else I wanted to discuss.
This might be a terrible Renfield level.
Oh. Ooh, we were going to talk about The Shining.
Oh yeah. Can you take a note for me of the Star Fox Fireball sound, the Rusty Door Hinge sound, and a link to the Toy Story 3 ending? Because I now have a list of things that I'm going to be putting in the description of this video. But yeah, I also recently watched The Thing, or The Shining, rather, and yet again, horror movies from 50 years ago kind of, I don't know. I should have known when it was based on a Stephen King book that it was going to be kind of mediocre and disappointing, and I was right. I have a pretty low opinion of the movie. Like, early on, they try and establish... I don't know if any of these ones are any good. Early on, they kind of establish some creepy things going on with the characters, but there's also just like random cuts to like the elevator shot with all the blood coming out, and it's like, okay, without any context, this is just like an interesting image. It's not scary. It doesn't really make me feel anything. And it's kind of just, it's honestly kind of funny without any context.
I love The Shining. I really like The Shining.
All right, let me finish whinging then, and then you can have your counterpoint. But yeah, it just was kind of. I liked the atmospheric, like the Overlook Hotel basically being a character is interesting to me. But I also feel like they kind of... I think this one is probably suffering from Seinfeld is unfunny syndrome for me. Just because for a lot of the stuff in the movie, it felt like, oh, I've seen this, but son of a bitch. Oh. For a lot of the stuff in the movie, it felt like, oh, I've seen this before. And some of it was like metaphorically, like, oh, I've seen this theme in a horror film. But other things was literally like you can't get to 30 and not know what "Here's Johnny" is referencing.
Right. I can see your point. The Shining is not a horror movie that I'm gonna watch to be like, oh, time to get spooked. It's one that I'll watch. I'm like, oh, I really want to watch a classic, something. I like the soundtrack. I like the story.
I did like the score. The score was good.
So it's not one I necessarily watch to get like super spooked, but it's definitely like a classic that I really enjoy. I don't necessarily find it super scary. I can't remember if I finished the book or not. I know I started it, but I think it was in college when I was super busy. So I had to like put it down because I was struggling in a class.
Yeah.
The book definitely had me on edge.
Yeah, from what I read online, there's a lot of themes in the book that don't really come through in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Jack Nicholson's struggle with alcoholism. Well, the character, not the actor.
Yeah.
Maybe the actor too. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I have the book. Maybe I should pick it up again.
And then like more details about like how The Shining feels for the kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not my favorite horror movie, but definitely one of the classics I like.
Yeah. The other thing that that just didn't work for me was just a shot of twins standing there. I don't know if people in the 80s just really hated twins or what, but none of those shots seemed scary to me. Like...
Basil. Twins.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, twins were kind of seen as like... Unless you were the Olsen twins.
Yeah, horror movie with the Olsen twins.
They were,
It's just the plot to, what's it called? The Parent Trap? But instead of the kids switching, like as a prank on their parents, it's like a Invasion of the Body Snatchers type thing. It's like, oh, I think my kid has been replaced by a kid that looks just like him. Well, this movie is just a fucking crapshoot. Or this level, rather.
Oh, that's a good. Oh.
Like, I don't know how I'm ever gonna get some of these.
You're gonna have to, like, wait until the ship gets above it.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty hard to time.
I just want this to end, please. But thinking of Stephen King movies, have you seen Pet Sematary?
Have I seen what?
Pet Sematary.
I have not. I did read it though, but it was back in high school.
I read it as well. The new one, the remake, garbage.
Yeah.
Hate it. Yeah, I hate it.
That again, that was why I was like, oh, when I found out it was based on a Stephen King, or when I remembered it was based on a Stephen King novel, I should have, had some reservations.
Well, not the fact that so you've read the book, so you know, in spoilers for an old spoilers, I guess.
Spoilers for a book from the 80s.
Yes, that it's Toby. It's the kid's name. Like, he dies, and he comes back at the end. In the remake, they switched it to where it's now a little girl and it's an older brother. So they basically just switched the siblings around. And I didn't like that.
Yeah,
So why?
movies do that a lot. They did that in Jurassic Park.
Really?
Yeah, in the original, I mean, in the book Jurassic Park, the girl is really into dinosaurs, and the boy is like the super computer nerd. And they switched them around for the movie. I think partially because the age of the actors they got. Jurassic Park. I just need to go rewatch Jurassic Park.
I love Jurassic Park.
Like, that movie. It's so good. And it is so quotable. It is the most quotable film of all time. Like, I was just about to say, it's a Unix system. Just thinking about that scene. I used to make that joke all the time in college because I was a computer science major. So it's like, it's a Unix system.
Yes. I know if I didn't make it, a lot of my friends made it. Also a computer science major. But you would know. Yes, helped me with my homework before. so
Wait, what'd you say?
You've helped me with my homework before.
Yes, I have. Friends forever.
And it was funny, then I became the senior and people were like, Emma, can you help me with this? And I was like, what? You asking me for help? But, sorry, going back to Pet Cemetery, because my brain is like, meow, meow, meow.
I'm in fucking
the reason why I was so
purgatory right
upset.
I said I'm in fucking purgatory right now. Hit the peg! God damn it!
At least you're getting 3 balls. It was annoying because in the original movie, they had like the little boy and an older girl. It's just in the remake they do it. Oh.
Finally.
And I don't really understand that decision.
Yeah, I don't know. But my other problem with the Stephen King ones is that Stephen King books really have this problem. The biggest thing is every Stephen King protagonist is just Stephen King. Like the sheer number of protagonists in his books that are writers from Maine or writers from like the Northeast is laughable. Like, people make fun of authors when they have obvious self-inserts. It's like a fan fiction trope. But apparently when Stephen King does it, it's cool. Even though he constantly does it.
He does. I've never really thought before. I guess in Pet Cemetery, he's a doctor.
Do they live in Maine?
Yeah, they are all in Maine.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in The Shining, Jack Torrance is a writer from Vermont.
Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was in Derry, Maine. Derry, Maine.
Say again?
It was Derry, Maine in it.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Barry, Maine?
Derry, like the town name, and it.
Oh, yeah. I think it is set in Maine.
Derry is the town name. Derry.
I see.
I like it. So.
I did not like it.
The new or the old ones?
I didn't even see the new one because I just assumed it would be bad.
I liked it. I thought it was good. And I read the book too. Book is
The book's a fucking mess and weird as hell. That's the other thing with Stephen King books. He always has unnecessary, like, it's like he's trying to get an R rating even when the content doesn't justify it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, they didn't put
like
it in
the
movie.
random N word in the middle of The Shining. I was just like, what?
Yeah.
What motivated this? And like at the end, they try and like make it make sense by showing you a picture from the 1920s, and it's like, okay, but like what? At this point, we haven't established that yet. Like it's just you just put the N word in your movie for no your book for no fucking reason.
Yeah. I mean, in the kids have like an orgy.
Yep,
And then before
that's
they go
fucking
fight.
weird.
Yeah.
It's not
Glad
even
that
it's
was
not even
in
really
the
an
movie.
orgy because it's just the one girl. It's just a gangbang.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking 12-year-old gangbang.
Yep. I remember reading that and I was just like, oh, okay. I'm just gonna quickly get through this. It's kind of weird. Don't really like reading about 12-year-olds doing it. It's not.
Yeah, he did the same thing in one of the few books of his that I actually really like was Through the Eyes of the Dragon. It's high fantasy, but again, it ends up being Stephen King is the protagonist, but it's just in fantasy form. And then in that book, it's almost like written in, I guess it's written in third person, but the main character is the son of the king. I guess he's a prince, but he's like locked away in a tower for like most of his adult life, I think. But there's a bit where there's a flashback to when he was conceived, and it's just like, why is this in the book, Steve?
That's interesting. You were like, it's a Stephen King book, so he put himself in it, and I was like,
Yeah.
was the dragon a writer from Maine?
It's a Stephen King book, so it's got to have a painfully unsexy description of sex, which is the king taking his wife's virginity.
Oh.
And it's just like, I don't...
Yeah.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of how the sex with the rape at the beginning of The Lovely Bones is described in the book.
Oh,
Like,
that movie makes me cry.
It's similar
I know.
language too. And he's trying to do it like, oh, isn't this hot? I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Stephen King.
Hmm.
I will tell you one thing though. One point to his credit. He fucking finishes his books, unlike some
Yep.
people.
Yep. But yeah, I'm very upset about that. You know, we could have had a good last season if he would have finished the books, but you know.
Yep. We could have had a good sixth book if he had finished the fucking book.
Exactly.
Like back in 20, I want to say, when was it? 2015. Yeah, back in 2015. It was early in my relationship with Megan, and she told me how much she enjoyed the book series she was reading, Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I would also like to read that. But they were really long, and I didn't have much free time. So this was back when I was working for General Motors.
Mm-hmm.
I would listen to them on audiobook in the car. And I was kind of pumped about it because listening to them on audiobook, it meant that I couldn't just sit down and read like a whole book in one afternoon if I got really into it. It kind of made me pace myself. And it also resulted in, I was like, oh, you know what? You know, if I start the series now, by the time I get through all of these audiobooks, I bet you the sixth book, The Winds of Winter or whatever, will finally be out.
Oh no. Oh.
It has been 5 years since I finished the series in my audiobooks, and we still don't have a release date for The Winds of Winter.
Yep.
Much less it being out. We still don't know when it might be out. So yeah, fuck you, George R.R. Martin.
Yep.
He's out here writing like script shit for video games and like being a co-author on other people's books. Finish your fucking series, man.
Have you been watching House of the Dragon?
I have not.
I have watched 8 episodes so far. I haven't watched the newest that just came out. I'll probably wait until after next Sunday when they're both out. When I was healing from my surgery, I just watched House of the Dragon. I just sat there and just binged it. So
Nice. That's a good way to do it. I'm glad your healing went well, by the way. I was worried when you told me you decided to go with the 400cc implants.
yeah,
It,
yeah.
it seemed like a lot for your frame, but I mean, from the pictures you sent, it looks good to me. I mean, you made the right call.
Thank you.
Everyone listening is like, what the fuck?
If anything, I like lost like unplant. How
Unplanted?
unplanted. Been uprooted.
Uprooted. Yeah, this is the sense of humor that you don't normally get to see in videos. The terrible things that I say to people that are somehow funny.
Okay, at least they can't see the pictures you make us see.
Oh. Another of my favorite pastimes. Posting terrible images into group chats so that people will, without warning, be exposed to them and be horrified by their content.
Yep.
Nico Cato's OnlyFans has certainly been worth the $10 a month.
You told me you saw it on 4chan.
Oh, yeah. It's around.
Right.
So you were telling me before this video, apparently Nico Cato is like AWOL at the moment. Nobody knows where he's at.
Yeah, unless something's changed. Apparently he's missing, yeah. Somehow I've gotten to just like a lot of YouTube drama. I guess like, because it's short, like 15-minute videos I can listen to when I'm going to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched one where apparently he's missing. I haven't heard anything new. Let's see if he's released any more videos.
Yeah, watching an hour of Peggle will really take up your night.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's... Oh, 10 days ago.
He hasn't posted in 10 days?
No, this was... Okay, he's back.
Oh, where was he?
Let's see. I didn't get an update on YouTube. Say where he was.
So he didn't say? So he didn't check himself into rehab is what we're learning.
Yeah, no, someone had pointed out, like, just on a YouTube video, it may have been iNabba, I don't know. Was just like, yeah, like, he hasn't released anything in a while, and we don't know where he is. Some people think he's dead. He's not dead, so that's good.
He could certainly have a sudden death, and it would not be too surprising considering his health.
A lot of people had said that. Yeah, I got into YouTube drama with the Try Guys drama, but my phone is like, oh, you like this sort of thing? Like, here's all this stuff.
Here's more.
So now but to be fair, I do still watch. I do watch the Try Guys, so that was in my wheelhouse.
Never been a big fan of the Try Guys, but I did find their episode where they all had low testosterone, like confirmed by testing, to be really funny. That episode's not online anymore. They took it down.
Really?
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh.
The other thing is, thank God for Ned Fulmer cheating on his wife, so that Zach, being the brand ambassador for Beggin' Strips dog treats, is now only the second most embarrassing thing a Try Guy has ever done. Have you seen those ads on TikTok?
I have not.
Oh my god. It is truly embarrassing. It's like, is the Try Guy gig not paying well, or does Beggin' Strips just have like an insane marketing budget? Because like, how much do you think you have to get paid to be a dog treat? It's like I don't know. I see that and I think like, oh wow, they must have given him a lot of money.
He just, maybe he made a video on it.
You just agreed to be in the ad in exchange for a lifetime supply of Beggin' Strips?
Yes. I was like looking stuff up about that, and I looked back over, and there's just a giant carrot in space.
Yep. Space
Was-
carrot.
Space carrot. The backgrounds of these Peggle levels.
This is going to be interesting. Yes.
I have to find more Peggle memes for you.
Peggle news?
My favorite is still the one where the guy was, yay!
Hooray! Where the guy posted in the wrong subreddit?
Yeah. I'm saying.
I think you're looking for r/pegging, sir.
Pegging. Peggle master. Look at all your little Peggle friends you made along the way.
I know. Including the radical knee pad gopher.
You see, it's just protecting his knees. Doesn't want to get arthritis. Doesn't want to get knee issues.
I don't think knee pads protect you from arthritis.
This is true. I have creaky knees, so I'm
Writing? This game had a writer?
What?
I just assumed that the random friends telling you how to play was just wrote by the programmers. I didn't feel like this game had a story director.
QA testers. It's kind of really I do that.
QA testing?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's very fun. I do like it. Special fan. I wonder what these people did. George fan.
These are just all the pizza delivery guys. Beta testers? I can't believe they're just...
Boy! Monkey boy! Who is Meat Boy?
Meat boy.
Just like all these names, they're just Lexi.
Oh, furry detected. Wolfpack mama.
Wuggies.
Oh my...
Plastic goth.
Spaggy? The fuck is Spaggy?
Cheryl. I just love the random, like, actual names you get.
Ooh, it's
randomly
Iceman
thrown.
from Top Gun. And Zelda!
Zelda play tested this?
From The Legend of Link.
Whoa! I love that game! Sue. Ian? Oh, Ian Jimin?
I think it's Benjamin, but it's a BE33.
Oh. Oh.
Thanks to all our beta testers for their valuable feedback.
I wonder if that's passive aggressive. If they found a bunch of bugs and they're just like, thanks.
Fuck you.
Thanks for making it.
Oh, it's looping. Alright, cool.
Oh!
Hooray! The Peggle trophy.
I got mine too, so now we both have our Peggle trophies.
Outstanding. In the next episode, I'm going to start on the master challenges. And they take a lot longer, so I'll probably just be doing one page per video. Well, thank you for your guest appearance today, Cardigan.
Thank you for having me.
What do they say at the end of talk shows? Is it- I feel like Conan might actually say that's all, folks. I think he used to.
Yeah, I was thinking like that. What does Graham Norton say?
No idea. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll see you next time. Leave us a comment about your horror movie thoughts. And listen to those weird sound bites in the description.